Hi everyone, I'm Mike Gordon. Welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Crash Bandicoot. Last time we cleared the first 10 stages of the game, and now let's take on Ripper Roo. Thanks to this game, Naughty Dog decided to gift us with a pair of Aku Aku masks. Every boss fight has some fairly easy strats on how to beat them quickly. The first two, you want to spin these big TNTs as soon as you anticipate them Ripper Roo landing on or just about to land away from them. Here I have to jump on top of them because I can only take 2 hits. Very easy. But from this point on, things get a lot tougher. Alright, so that's the first 2. You have to jump around the wall to get those 2 boxes in the Aku Aku mask for protection. It should be noted too that using up your Aku Aku masks in boss fight is totally fine because you can't carry any of them with you. So, having said all that, Lost City. Lost City is going to be where we get our first color gem. In the Japanese version, you would get the red gem for clearing this stage. But in the US version, it's the green gem. The green gem in the Japanese version is a Hog Wild. Okay, I got the explanation point up there. So that's going to be useful for opening a box coming up right there. You have to hold the X button to grab both those tokens. The Brio token and the extra life. Oh yeah, you might notice too that I have 9 lives this time. Last time I had like 50 or 60 lives or something, but because I loaded up from where I left off last time, my lives were reset to 4 lives. 5 if you count 0. I don't know why they do that. I think it's just the number of lives past 0 is number of extra lives. Alright. So, hopping up those platforms is pretty easy once you time it. But here I have to, that's very, very risky. But at least we have an Aku Aku mask in case we miss. But now, something worth knowing is that because this is our first color gem, if you're playing the Insane Trilogy, this is the first level that you have to clear in one go. As in, no extra, you have to get all the boxes without dying once, even in the Insane Trilogy. Alright, 3 Brio tokens, and Brio tokens are the Brio stages are pretty much just an excuse to farm for extra lives. See? I went from like 9 to 19 just like that. And you don't save your game. That's the one downside of the Brio tokens. Alright, had no idea how to get past them without doing what I did. That was admittedly very bold of me, but whatever. You generally want to get a feel for the patterns before you cross. That's why I said they were bold. Alright, Tawnia, you're up now. And interestingly enough, last time you noticed that we beat Papu Papu, it only treated us, and after clearing the Tawnia stage, it only treated it like we only cleared the first 6 stages. Rolling Stones wasn't counted yet when I completed the Tawnia stage. Well, you're going to see quite a percentage jump coming up real soon. Yes, I'm basically going this route, even though I don't have to destroy all the boxes. I'm because you could because destroying all the boxes is mandatory for getting the gems in the Insane Trilogy. I go for all the boxes on the bonus stages, regardless. So 31% completed, 12 out of 32 levels. So Lost City actually gave us a huge bonus jump, even though last time we beat a boss, it didn't. The reason for this is because getting the gems in every stage actually will help count towards your stage progression. I'm not totally sure on the full extent of this, but if you got the gem in the Tawnia stage at Up the Creek, and then even though we did Ripper Roo immediately after that, the game will still try to keep track of that. Although it's possible that's more like if you clear like 1.6 stages or something like that, it will each level beaten counts as 1.6%. What have I got? Or something, I don't know. I'm just spitballing. The way level progression works, it's more like you complete 1.6 or 1.7 of the levels every time you clear a Tawnia stage. Oh, that was weird. I don't know the exact mathematics, but all I know is that in Crash Bandicoot 1, there are 3 ways to gain percentage. Get a gem, get the key, or clear a Tawnia stage. And the Tawnia stage actually keeps track of level progression. That was bold. Alright. Now, Temple Ruins does not have a Tawnia stage, so there won't be any level progression here, so all I can really do is get the gem. I'm also absolutely certain this means that we won't be able to that even after clearing the next stage, we won't be able to just save our progress. But even though there's no Tawnia stage, no bonus stage here, have to wait for that pillar to come down. Yeah, the 3 masks here is kind of pointless in this stage. So I honestly think you could make good mask usage to take damage in this stage. So it's been a long time since I played this game, and I generally don't play platformers with speedrunning in mind, unless there's like a time trial or something. And man, we are already at 36 lives. The Naughty Dog knew this game was hard, that's why they keep throwing in life after life after life after life, just to discourage gamers from playing, just from giving up. However, the gems are more likely than not the developer's way of testing the player's mettle, since you have to clear the stages without dying. Now this stage is totally free because we can't get the gem yet. So that's a level we... Now, if you're playing the Japanese version, you can get the gem in this stage because Lost City holds the red gem in the Japanese version. And the green gem is instead located at Hogwild. Up to this point, the only level we would have, because they have found skips for all but the only level from the first island that you cannot do the gem skip at all is Native Fortress. If you're talking speed running in the Japanese version. And the reason for this is because the red gem path to help you clear the stage is in the sky. And there's no platform that you can latch onto. That would help you get to those boxes. Like, there were recent discoveries on how to even get the missing boxes from Rolling Stone, for Christ's sake. Alright, 14 out of 32 levels, which basically means 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you are caught up at Rolling Stone. But anyways, I cleared a Tawnia stage, but can't get the gem yet, so kill myself. Remember that the red gem path would only be available to us if you actually in the Japanese version. And Boulder Dash is another level that's totally free, so that means finding a place to die. There's only one more level where I will do something like this and just kill myself. Just one more. And at least in this episode. Yeah, in this episode. Okay. That was the intended suicide right there. Alright, do that so I don't have to watch the boxes drop on Crash's head. Funny thing is, in the Japanese version, you have no choice but to. Even if you die, the game will still keep track of how many boxes there are that you left. However, they just count it all at once. So you're not losing that much time. But there are a ton of boxes you can't get in this stage right away. Like, so many boxes. Like 13 or like somewhere around the 13 to 20 range. That's how many. So I'm not really going after the single Wumpa fruit, and I just hit the fence. So something you might not notice is I try a bit zigzagging in order to gain additional distance on the boulder. That's very difficult to pull off, so I just do a tiny bit of it. But speedrunners are masters at zigzagging. Anyways, here's an arguable contender for hardest stage in the game. So hard, in fact, that the Japanese version of this game actually swapped the level order. They put a different level here, and then put Sunset Vista off of ways. Because this level is that hard. Of course, the irony is that the level they swap places with is also a contender for toughest in the game. The difference, though, is that Sunset Vista is really hard because it's also really long. So long, in fact, that Naughty Dog actually cut the level in half. Because I realized how ridiculous it was. Like, geez, couldn't you guys figure out a way to pace yourselves a little better? Why is this level so long? Alright. Jump on this head like that. There we go, and so yeah, the stage actually ends at its halfway point. The only way to play the full stage in its entirety is through like a prototype ROM for this game. And no, I'm not going to count that as a part of our attempts at perfect playthrough because I treat this ROM as a different game. That ROM is a prototype ROM, filled to the brim with stages that are not finished. My guess is that the developers must have really fell in love with this stage, got really invested in this stage. I don't know why. Because Lost City ends where it should end. Alright. Hopefully these masks should help with this part a bit. It's not really meant to help with obstacles, but they're mainly for protection. Okay, it's not that big a help, except maybe in getting past the bats and the flames. That's it. You need to lure this guy over. Couldn't get it fully centered, but whatever. And here's our first Cortex token. And there's only 2 Cortex stages, bonus rounds in the whole game, and those are how you provide keys. I just jumped to catch up to land back on the platform. You can actually do this because early 3D platformers. I have to wait for the mask to wear off here before doing this, so I could grab this token. What have I got? Anyways, there's only 2 Cortex stages in the whole game, and the reason for this is because the reward are those 2 keys that you keep seeing. Those keys are necessary to unlocking certain levels. And interestingly enough, once you unlock that level, it's counted as completed. So here's the bonus round. So in a way, this is the only other alternative for level progression. And yeah, Cortex stages are not good for extra lives. They're really just there to take up time. 15 out of 32 levels. The reason why it reads 15 out of 32 levels, the game did not keep track of Boulder Dash. It kept track of the level that you unlocked that's connected to Boulder Dash. I can take damage because the next stage is a boss. But Tawnia will keep track of level progression, and the game will recognize, hey look, you unlocked Toll Hog, that means Boulder Dash technically is also, means you have at the very least made it up to Boulder Dash, so now it's going to count Boulder Dash and Sunset Vista as finished. So if I were to turn the game off right now, I could resume where I left off and fight the boss. But I don't want to do that because I want to get the gem at the end of the stage. And you're starting to see that more and more stages are accessible right from the start, because there aren't a lot of colored gem paths. They're mostly front loaded at the first half of the game. I mean, it makes sense because this stage is already playing hard enough. I can't imagine. I'll take the damage there. And this is proof that there was supposed to be more stage after this, but they just scrubbed it. And that's how the screen kept panning more and more to the right, even though there's nothing there. There's supposed to be something there, but they removed it. Again, the developers realized that being the halfway point was way too long and they had to cut it down. And the second half looks really, really, really hard. Alright, this boss is pretty easy. Just go back and forth to dodge the TNTs and the boulders. Immediately spin the first boulder because that's pretty free. The other ones are not quite so free because those mine carts will get in the way, and we need to take that into account. And I'm actually going to deliberately take damage during these two rocks, so yeah, so I don't have to work, because I figure it's much harder as is to try to dodge the TNTs and the boulders in the second half, so I'm just gonna take the damage in the second half. And it's actually a lot easier to spin from the far right or from the center. So that's it for Qualicon, not too difficult. Heavy machinery. And this episode's gonna go a little long because it's gonna take quite a while before we can safely save our game and close out. I probably could have done that at Sunset Vista, but I did the math in the head and it didn't really add up for me to do that. Alright, jump down that pit for a secret area. Yeah, Night Dog loves their secret areas. Which is also why Crash Bandicoot 2 in particular has so many cheat methods that you have to, okay, how do I get this gem? Where are the boxes I'm missing? Where you have to go places and do things that you would not have, where you would very clearly not have the sense to do these things. The first color gem in the second game in particular, that thing can go to hell. Because how the hell is anybody gonna think, oh, let's do that? The first game is basically made with that kind of philosophy in mind, so be forewarned. Alright, just trying to platform around these guys. Heavy machinery is honestly a surprisingly easy level, even compared to the last batch of levels. And I don't really fully get why it was placed here. I'm guessing it's to provide relief, because the next batch of levels can be quite difficult as well. The levels considered to be the hardest ones in the game. The only ones we've seen so far is... what is it? Oh yeah, Sunset Vista. Maybe, you could maybe make a case for Road to Nowhere, but... I don't know. I would say Sunset Vista, High Road, Slippery Climb, Fumbling in the Dark, and the Lab are the 5 hardest levels in the game. The latter two make sense because they were intended to be end game levels. Alright, 18 out of 32 levels clear, which basically means Koala Kong is now regarded as having been beaten. However, if we were to turn the game off right now, it means we would have to play through this level again. That isn't too bad because this level's easy, but... And the Tawnia stage comes early enough in the level that can be justified. Alright, we gotta... Really, it's just there for... The super mask is just there for protection. We don't really need it, but it's nice to have. Alright, Brio stage. Interestingly enough, they actually cut back on the TNTs this time. Can you actually... But, however, this stage is makes Heavy Machine that much worse to complete because you have to get all of these boxes in order to clear the stage, and that's ridiculous. Whereas this is completely optional in the original PlayStation release. Yeah, those stages were not designed specifically to get every box of the game. Brio is basically just an extra little reward that is meant to be there to help you gain extra lives. Especially since the Brio stages are the only ones that you can actually redo. Alright. And here's a bit of trivia. This is the first gem I ever got when I first played this game as a kid. Same goes for my dad if memory serves. Cortex Power. Alright. What do I say? Okay, this is a stage that we cannot get the box gem yet. What? I keep saying box gem. Every gem in this game is a box gem, including the color ones. However, the color gem here, the blue one, we don't have yet, so we won't be able to get it yet. I know hypothetically you could just go back. You could take advantage of the spotty hit detection, which is the same kind of hit detection that I take advantage of in order to get back on the platform and not fall to my death. Alright, this one's gonna be kind of wasted because we're gonna die, like, real soon. And that's a very quick and easy death, conveniently enough. But we need to die so we don't have to watch the count. We don't really need the 3 Aku Aku mess for the next level anyways. And this is a pretty big level, so... Yeah, it kind of hurts to ignore these boxes now, but... There's no point getting them. They're not worth that much. But here's a generator room. Believe it or not, this is definitely made way tougher than the Insane Trilogy. And man... And it's worse because... You can't die at all in the Insane Trilogy, and platforming here is a little wonky. This is Though it's not my top 5 hard stage, it's definitely worthy of the top 10. And I would even throw the next stage for good measure. And it's not, and the reason why it doesn't rate that high is because it's not that tough on the surface. At least in the PlayStation version. But you kind of have to deal with wonky enemy placements like this, and a highly distorted view of where these smaller platformers are. So don't jump down there. Whatever you do, you can't actually do that. Okay, we got the Tawnia stage. It's kind of funny. You don't need to get all the boxes unless you absolutely need to get all the boxes. Like this stage here. Alright, 20 out of 32 levels, which means Cortex power is considered beaten, but not the generator room. Which means if the next stage has a Tawnia stage, we can clear that and it will register the next stage as beaten. That's literally how this game decides whether or not you had actually complete the stage or not. That's literally how the game decides that. Alright, I gotta be a little patient. It's a little safer across when those spinning things are heading to the right, heading from the right to left rather than left to right, because then you can at least dodge. I have to make sure that those TNTs get blown up, because in this stage, I've actually known times where one of the TNTs doesn't blow up because I off-screened it. And we are at 96 lives. Alright, we got our second color gem, which is the gold gem. 56% completed. And now let's take on Toxic Waste. And this will be our last level that we're covering today, so spoiler. Okay, I have to grab the Aku Aku mask because if I move far enough away, that Aku Aku mask will disappear. Interesting enough, these enemies do not operate on a universal cycle. They will only start throwing the barrels at you after you pass a certain threshold. So this threshold is the one that needs to be passed in order for the barrels to start rolling. Luckily, these barrels are very easy to avoid because they're just rolling straight like that. Now, why the first barrel takes a while is because he doesn't throw the barrel until immediately after you press the threshold. And it takes a little while to catch up. These paths are pretty long. Alright, here's the next threshold. We already maxed on lives, so we don't have to grab that. Oh, now these barrels bounce. Yay. Come on, just jump on it already. Right there, I believe there was a platform right there. Wow, I didn't know you could jump on him. Alright, and the threshold has just passed, so just took our first bit of damage there, and I'm going to damage Scum here again because I don't know if I had actually blown up that box or not. 61%, that's a sizable jump, which means, yep, 22 out of 32 levels cleared. That means we are all caught up. Now the cycle resets because I wasn't there previously and now I am. And I had to literally offer up my Aku Aku mask so I could destroy those TNTs. Cheap, I know, but we get the gem and we can't bring the masks with us to the next stage. Even if we could, we are turning the game off, and those masks don't carry over to a new load anyways. But with that, I think it's time to wrap up. If you like what you see here, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all that out of the way, this is Mike Gorin signing out.